Grand Harbour Hotel in Southampton hosted its first charity wrestling promotion show as CWP. A Dawn of a New Era Volume 1 took place on Sunday evening. The pink-tinted lighting was the backdrop for a large crowd, who filled the room for 6 entertaining matches. This was a packed card for CWP, including 2 6-man contests, a tag team match, and the all-important winner-takes-all title match in the main event. This time, CWP was raising money for Dylan's quest, and the promotion honoured his memory with the entire roster surrounding the ring, whilst a 10-bell salute took place inside the ring itself. A special banner was also unveiled in front of Dylan's family as a tribute. With the show now underway, CWP General Manager Kelvin J addressed the ongoing nuisance that was the Takeover. Unsurprisingly, Takeover manager James Daniels and his group made an early appearance, but Jay was prepared and informed the group that neither Sky Smithson or Eddie Kenway would be allowed at ringside for the title match at the end of the night. They weren't happy, but the audience certainly were. Soon it was time for the first match, and the show was off to a bang as the brand new No Limits title was up for grabs in a 6-man ladder match. Riley Evans, Frankie T, Joe Royal, Mocha Majoka, Alexander Roth and late stand-in Chris Kay battled for the title. The audience, not to mention the cameraman, had to have their heads on a swivel as action took place all around the ring before the ladders had even made an appearance. The athletic Roth was particularly impressive early on, using an array of energetic moves on his opponents. But one such move led him to wiping himself out on the far side of the hall. Majoka, meanwhile, was keeping himself busy by trying to reach the title belt without the use of a ladder, whilst Royal and Kay were trading suplexes inside the squared circle to allow some classic wrestling a small cameo in this carnage. But when Royal pulled off an excellent moonsault onto most of his opponents outside of the ring, it was the 2 Society members who were left to fight it out for the belt. But just when it looked like Frankie had the title within his grasp, a big powerbomb left Evans as the last man standing. And he climbed the ladder, unstrapped the title and won a well-deserved championship. However, once the ring had been cleared, something very special happened. Evans invited his girlfriend into the ring, dropped to one knee and asked her to marry him. And they received the biggest cheer of the night when she said yes. When the celebrations had finished, it was time for match 2. This was all set to be an excellent technical match as the English Lion Eddie Ryan went toe-to-toe with British wrestling legend James Mason. As expected, both men put on a very technically driven match, which kept the audience guessing for the most part. Of course, Mason had the opportunity to pick on another unfortunate opponent's fingers. But Ryan had plenty of tricks up his sleeve as well, and it was difficult to predict who was going to come out on top. Although at times the audience had to wonder whether either man was actually going to get a pinfall, with the referee being kept busy in the middle part of the match. But when the two had stopped trying to pin each other at the same time, the match was decided as Ryan countered a pin attempt and rolled Mason up for the victory. Match 3 followed before the interval, and as far as the neutral was concerned, it was good to see Raj and Rishi Ghosh in CWP action. The Bombay Bad Boys were challenging the Solent Bombers, Chris Kay and double champion, the Mighty Oak, for the CWP Tag Team titles. Neither Rishi or Raj fared particularly well against the Solent Bombers' resident giant in the early goings. But having convinced Kay to tag in, the Bombay Bad Boys were able to turn the tide fairly quickly. With a few of Rishi's accidents and their underhanded tactics paying off in their favour, it looked like the Bombay Bad Boys might get the titles. But the Bombers managed to fight back, and their double team finisher allowed them to successfully defend their titles. After the break, the Takeover were in the ring for a 6-man tag match as Sky Smithson and Eddie Kenway were joined reluctantly by Big Money Bobby Vegas. They took on the Pirate Nation, a new team of Robbie Nitro and Roderick the Rambunctious, as well as Bobby Tyler in a pirate-esque attire as well. The CWP Women's Champion started things off well for her team, but Vegas was not interested in continuing his side's good form against Tyler, and forced the blonde bombshell to tag in her male counterparts. Vegas was quite happy to beat Roderick around the ring, however. And outside of it, so was Kenway, as the drunken pirate took a mid-match hammering. It didn't get any better for Roderick back inside the ring. But Roderick was eventually able to tag in Nitro, and he charged out of the blocks to swing the match back in his team's favour. The First Lady of the Takeover very nearly drop-kicked her side to victory towards the end, but Tyler kept her team in the match. Before Roderick and Nitro hit a 2-on-1 move to put away Vegas and win the match. However, Tyler's celebrations would be short-lived. Isolated from her other teammates by the arriving Logan, Tyler was attacked inside the ring by the Takeover. And having finished with that assault, they then turned their attention on Vegas, beating him and locking him in a brutal, painful double submission. When he'd eventually recovered, Vegas delivered an angry but powerful challenge to Kenway for the next show. The audience needed a little bit of cheer now. Luckily, savvy Sid Skyler was on hand, as well as the ever-lively middleweight champion Buff Daddy Johnny Rocket. These two started the match on the same page. The audience, still recovering from the match before, were treated to another good technical bout, with both Skyler and Rocket enjoying control. Well, when they weren't trying to teach each other dance moves anyway. Once it got going, this match had the most near falls of the evening. Both Skyler and Rocket nearly had the match won on several occasions. And there were more than a few eye-watering submission holds and stretches involved. Ultimately though, it was Rocket who came out on top in this contest and successfully retained his title with a pinfall victory. Just one more match remained. In the night's main event, Ian Logan of the Takeover challenged for the CWP Championship. However, if the Mighty Oak retained, the Takeover would have to disband. It started well for the champion, as he sent Logan scurrying from the ring. He retained control of the match as his challenger returned to the ring, but Logan survived the opening offence and a power slam to kick out the pin attempt. Outside of the ring, Logan battled back on level terms and used ringside against the Oak. He continued to try and wear down the Giant as the action slowly moved back towards the ropes. But the big man would not be beaten so easily and continued to break Logan's pin attempts. Surely the Oak had this match won when he hit Logan with a powerful chokeslam, followed by a big diving splash. Only for Daniels to interfere and distract the referee as Oak went in for the winning pin. Then, with the referee distracted, a member of the audience raced into the ring and attacked Oak with a chair. The fan was actually a wrestler, the Executioner, and the unthinkable was unfolding before the enthralled audience's eyes. Logan went for the sharpshooter submission and forced the Oak to submit and surrender the title to the Takeover.
The winner of the match, as a result of our submission, and the new CWP Heavyweight Champion,
Robbie Nitro put all of CWP on the line for a winner-takes-all tag match against the Takeover at dawn of a new era Volume 2. If you want to find out what happens next, find CWP Charity Wrestling Promotions on Facebook and get yourself along to the next show.